I want to tell everybody of how we first met. Evan was going through a little something. So,
I was standing at the top of the stairway crying because my girlfriend had just broke up with me.
That's true. So in a time of need, I told Evan he should go and get therapy and counseling.
He told me that I should go to therapy and that he would sign up with me. He didn't sign up with me.
I didn't. Get you baited.
But you will have the time of your life here. I almost guarantee it.
Welcome back to Tour the Nest podcast with your brand new hosts, Tristan Wilson,
Evan Colvin.
two lifelong friends. We met at Brockport, and now we're in love.
Lifelong friends of 5
Were
years.
you born here?
No,
We were born in different areas.
different zip codes too.
Okay, sorry. We got to get the jitters out here. And what's your name?
My name is Liam Hoffmann. I used to be the host of this podcast back in the day. I've been the lifelong host of this podcast.
But were you born in the same place as the podcast? though?
No, me and the podcast group in different area codes.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Very cool. Very cool. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Liam?
I'm a senior at Brockport. I'm finishing up here soon. I am a journalism and broadcasting major here. I like to make videos like this. You got to ask more specific questions, I think. Ask more specific questions about myself. I don't know anything about myself.
Okay. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Henrietta, New York, which is it's 30 minutes from here. It's 15 minutes south of downtown Rochester. So not far.
Rochester native. Love it.
Yes, absolutely. Never
Evan and I
left.
are not from this area. I grew up around the Binghamton area.
I grew up in Pulaski, New York, salmon fishing capital of the world.
Little
Where's
known fact.
that?
If you ever go there, it's north of Syracuse, south of Watertown.
Okay.
It's 2.5 hours to the east of here.
Nice.
What made you want to choose Brockport?
So I was between a couple schools. I knew I wanted to go for journalism. At the time, I really wanted to do sports broadcasting or sports journalism. And so I came to tour here at Brockport. And I met Warren Kozareski, his name, he goes by Koz, who used to be the general manager of the radio station, 89.1 The Point here at
Shout out
Brockport.
Koz.
Yeah, shout out Koz for sure. And so I met Koz when I was on my accepted students day tour thing. And I was just talking to Koz about the opportunities that the radio station had to cover pro sports and college sports and stuff. And then I went and paid my deposit right after that. I was sold on those opportunities. And then I figured out the rest after that, I guess.
Immediate.
Yeah.
Just sold instantly. Kaz has a way with people, So have you always kind of been interested in sports and television? Is that kind of what you grew up on?
Yeah. So I started watching football probably when I was 10. And then I've only grown to love football more and other sports more since then. And I think it wasn't long after that I realized that I would like to do play-by-play, broadcasting sports. I was the kid who while I was playing video games, commentated to myself alone in my room. There was
I think we've
people
all
listening.
kind of been there a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Or when the football game is on, if I didn't like the commentator, I would mute the game and do it to myself. So that's how I was when I was a teenager.
I think I need to have you over to watch a football game.
No, I don't think you want to. It's kind of obnoxious probably, but
What football team are you?
I'm a Bills fan.
I was gonna be really embarrassed for you if you weren't.
Yeah, big Bills fan and have to be.
Both Evan and I weren't really big sports fans, but then when you come to Brockport, I feel like the culture is so much, just cheering on the football team or the basketball team, or I even got into rugby when I came here. So I don't know, I joined so many different clubs. And
Are you on the rugby
organizations.
team?
No, but I went and supported a bunch of games.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I just
being
went.
a fan of Brockport rugby is awesome.
Yeah, and it's a club team. So I was, it was cool. But yeah, I wasn't
Go
a huge,
doggies.
For real. Go doggies.
If that's
I digress. But
Do they need a broadcaster? The
I don't know.
doggies? Can you ask them for me?
I will. Yeah.
Are you
I'll
a
ask
season
them.
ticket holder?
Yeah. The free tickets.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Yeah. But so we both came in. Now we're huge Buffalo Bills fans.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You should
my
be.
family
Have you
was-
guys gone to a game?
Yeah. We try to go to one usually once a year. Awesome. We usually try to get like when they're on the downslope. You know, when they start losing a few games in a row.
In the cold when the tickets are cheaper.
Yeah, and then they're super cheap. Me and my girlfriend, we went to the Jets game this year in the Jets Stadium.
Oh, in East Rutherford?
Yeah.
Nice. How was that?
That was awesome. It was my first time to the city, actually.
Oh, really?
Of like New York City ever, yeah. So we went there for a couple of days and then went and saw a Bills game.
That's sweet.
They don't have any fans.
No, I don't. Yeah, maybe if they won more than like 5 games in a season, they would.
Yeah,
but
did
you guys know that like in the middle of like the playoff drought, like when the Bills hadn't gone to the playoffs for like almost 20 years, those snow games, it was so hard to get people in the seats that Bills fans always went, but like, you know, it's the middle of December, they have 5 wins, like it's rough. After snowstorms, they would pay fans to come and like shovel snow out of the bleachers, and they'd let you stay for the game.
Yeah, they used to give tickets. Well, that's everybody was really mad about, because they would only do like the $20 for you to shuffle or whatever these past couple of years, but they used to give you the free tickets, which was cool. Facts. But yeah, anyways, back to Brockport. What's your go-to place to hang out on campus? Like, is there a specific spot you go to?
Recently, so to hangout's tough. To like study.
Yeah.
I've recently been going to the library. I like, for whatever reason, until like this year, I was like against going to the library. Like I thought I was too good for it or something.
That was like one of the main reasons I chose Brockport. Our library is sick.
Yeah,
the
I
3
love
floors is sweet. Like I love it.
I love it now. So like this year I started going to the library and I go all the time. Like I was there yesterday. I'm probably going to go after this. It's just like a space that's detached from like your dorm or your house or like where you work or where you go to class. Like it's just somewhere separate that you can like devote to like locking in, for lack of a better term.
Let me cook.
Exactly. So I like the library. The Union is really good. Like if you just need like a quick place to stop and get lunch and like somewhere to hang out and meet with friends. Like obviously a lot of clubs meet in rooms in the Union and stuff. I'm trying to think of like a sleeper spot.
Liberal Arts Building. I love it there.
Liberal Arts Building is very nice.
I was such a bad student. I can't think of a study spot. I was really bad. I was a terrible student.
No, that's not true.
Well, when I was a business major, I was.
Yeah, but then you switched out.
Yeah, sociology.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Did you stick with journalism broadcasting your whole 4 years?
Yes. So I came in the journalism and broadcasting major, which it's actually called journalism and social media now, but regardless, you declare like a concentration. So my concentration was in media production, which is like video production basically. And it's been that my whole time. After we also have to declare a minor. It's like as part of our degree. So I added a graphic design minor before my 3rd semester, and I only lasted in that for 2 weeks. I took like a topography class, and I went to like 3 of the first 6 classes, and then I dropped out of it, obviously. And then I switched to being a public relations minor, which is what I am now, and that's a lot more for me.
Yeah, does that fit probably a little bit better with your major?
Because I thought like maybe graphic design would be cool in terms of like content creation and stuff, but as soon as like, yeah, it just wasn't for me. I won't diss on the graphic design department.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. From everyone I've talked to that's in the major, they've gotten a lot out of it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that was the same for me. I was like a business major for, I think the first year, 2 years even maybe. And then like, I was just like, I don't know if I can do this just because I'm not a good math student, which is just that's just the only reason it wasn't for me. I just could not figure it out very well. So then I switched to sociology after that, and I loved it. And it was everything's just not for everybody, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I switched too. I started computer science, lasted maybe 2 weeks, and then figured out how much math was in computer science, switched to English education, and then now I'm doing higher education. So
nice.
Yeah, sweet. I mean, but just for the audience, just know it's okay to change your major. You know, like everybody does it. You know, you got to play around, figure out what you want to do.
And we've talked about it before on here, but there's a lot of resources to make changing your major easier, a lot more accessible, and not like catastrophic. I have to stay at school twice as long or whatever if it happens. Sure. So
yeah, no. Kind of pivoting back to like sports a little bit. I know that you have done an internship. I don't know if you've done a couple of them, but you started off high school football games. Is that right? Is that where you're doing your internships with?
So I was broadcasting high school football with the radio station, actually.
Okay, cool.
So the radio station 89.1 The Point here at Brockport broadcasts a bunch of sports. But in the fall, they do both high school and college football. They do the Brockport Golden Eagles football games. So my first year and a half here was a lot of stuff with the radio station. I've done internships at Channel 8 in Rochester with Nexstar Media Group. I was a communications and baseball information intern with the Rochester Red Wings, which is a pro sports team, AAA baseball team here, last summer. I wrote for Pickin Splinters for a while, which is a sports blog here in Rochester that covers mostly high school sports. So I wrote for them for a while. And coming up, I will be a marketing intern at Wegmans.
Nice.
Dang, man. You've done a lot.
Yeah, hit a lot of different
How did
topics.
you, like, what was your in to getting those internships? Like, how did you even navigate getting those?
Yeah, so each one was pretty different. The first two, I guess I'll say, which was Pickin Splinters and the TV station Channel 8, I sat down with Kim Young, who is the part of the faculty in the journalism department. She's also like the internship coordinator, I want to say her title is. So I sat down with her, talked about options, and because and that was probably in the spring of my first year, so like my second semester, and I was like just looking for options, and she gave those options to me. And I had done a lot, like as I started here, especially with the radio station and like my involvement, and showed how, driven, devoted I was, whatever. So she put those in front of me. I got connected with Pickin Splinters right away and started writing for them that summer. And then I did the TV internship in that next fall, which was a really great opportunity. And that was just, like I said, being connected by my faculty to the organization.
Cool. Yeah.
And then for the Red Wings, I had covered the Red Wings before, like through 89.1 The Point, we were credentialed to cover them. Mm-hmm. So I got to know like all of their PR people the previous summer, or the previous 2 summers, I guess. And so I applied, and because I already had an established like relationship with them, they'd already read how I wrote and stuff. It was a pretty like simple interview process. That's and cool. Yeah, and that was a really great opportunity. And then for the one I have coming up, I've worked at Wegmans like part-time since I was like in high school, like since I turned 16. So they have like all of their internships are basically pretty much open to like internal candidates, like part-time employees, or I guess full-time employees, but mostly like part-time employees who are younger and in school. And so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, like this coming summer. And I was looking into those opportunities, talking to like some of my management there, and they were like, yeah, like this opportunity marketing seems really lined up with what I wanted to do. Okay. So I wound up applying, went through a couple rounds of interviews, and then I just accepted that.
That's sweet. I'm kind of curious, like going back to when you were in high school, would you have seen yourself getting these internships, getting these, like really cool opportunities, in high school? Like, did you kind of already see this coming, or was this something that just like hit you,
I'd say probably not. In high school, I was like a good student, but I wasn't all that involved. Like I was in like pretty much just one club. Didn't do a lot of like extracurriculars or anything like that. Kind of just like did my homework and like chilled with my friends. But I knew that like this was what I wanted to pursue, or at least at the time I wanted to pursue like sports journalism, broadcasting, whatever. And I also felt that going to college was like a really big choice. And I was very adamant to myself, and like I set standards for myself that I wanted to like be as involved as possible and like make the absolute most of the opportunities that I'd have in school. And that was like kind of what I was saying before. That's why I chose Brockport. Would I say that I saw myself doing everything I've done? No, to be honest. And I'm graduating in just 3 years instead of 4 years. I definitely wouldn't have saw that. Yeah. So I'd say no, but I think, 15, 16-year-old me would also be very surprised to hear that I'm not broadcasting sports anymore. I'm not covering sports anymore, but I just had goals, and I kind of tried to make, every choice since then to reach them. And those goals have changed, but I'd say I'm happy with the trajectory it's all taken. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. Cool. I love when people like from high school or like even when they're younger have like a specific passion that they're really into or are able to follow. Just because like I didn't really have that, and it was like when I got to Brockport, it was just like me trying to figure that out. So I just think it's super cool when like you have that area you want to focus on and like you've done is and just stick with it throughout the entire time pretty much. I think that's really cool. But.
Yeah, and like my path has like shifted. Like I don't want to do the same thing I wanted to do when I came here, but I always say that I'm so glad that I got to experience those things, that I got to do play-by-play for football like I always wanted. Like I got to intern in pro sports. Like those were experiences that I've wanted to have like for like most of my life. And now I can say that I did it and I saw what it was actually like. And if I hadn't been able to take advantage of those things, if I just like went through 4 years of school and didn't really do anything and then try to find a career in it, and I'm like, oh, crap, like I actually don't like this.
You were super proactive, like just like with the internships or doing different things, but also like kind of just like letting your path shift and changes. It's pretty sweet.
I try to be reflective in that way.
It's super important just to like not only try out those things to figure out what you do want to do, but just as important to figure out what you don't want to do. You know, like, because if you don't have those experiences, you don't know what you like and what you don't like. Like for me with education, you know, I did my student teaching and just wasn't feeling it. And that's okay. You know, you have people to kind of support you and figure out where to kind of pivot, even though it was my senior year, you know, and I was so close to finishing. I had that way to kind of pivot and figure things out with, you know, just the people that you met. But kind of going off of that, I'm curious, like with your relationship with like Kaz and the people that you met from 89.1 The Point, your advisors, you know, the people outside, what was making those connections like? And have you really felt like it's helped you kind of moving forward?
Yeah, totally. If I didn't have like older professionals to like connect with, just have conversations about life and work with, get their advice on things, bounce ideas off of, I'm like confident in saying that I wouldn't be able to do like half the things that I've been able to do. Kaz was like the first, but like really soon on campus, I started taking courses with Ginny Orzel, who's been a really big mentor to me. She's in the journalism department. Like there's so many people on this campus and elsewhere that, like I said, are professionals that I've been able to get help from. And I think, again, going back to it, like my mind has changed a lot on what I wanted to do. And I think being able to have conversations with people like that who have probably seen other people in like similar boats as me and be able to give me advice based off of that in terms of like where to go or maybe what else to think about, things like that. It's been like all the more valuable. And I also think that's a big, like, if you're coming to college, that's a really big thing to know. Take advantage of the people that are around you. Connect with as many professionals as you can, or, you know, other students, peers, whatever. Because especially here, I can speak for Brockport, like the people that work here are here to help all the time. And they can help and they do help and they have helped me. So yeah, I just think that that's one of the biggest strengths of going to school too, outside of just like classwork, is being able to meet people that, you know, can both give you advice and also like connect you with people in whatever respective industry you want to go into. Like I said, like my first internships came from relationships that these organizations had with one of the faculty in the department here. So yeah, those connections are awesome. Like we even have a professor of Evans from when he was here at Brockport in sociology that we now play basketball with. We're on a kickball team with, you know, like we've graduated, but we were able to keep those connections. And like, I don't know, it's so cool to really see that the professors really care about the students and like want to see them succeed. And so.
What I took away from that is always take advantage of the people around you.
Yeah.
That's the key to life.
Yeah, treat people like tools, not humans, and just use them when you need them.
You need them, yeah. No, take advantage of everyone around you. So,
speaking of, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious. So Evan and I, of course, besties. We met at Brockport. I was Evan's resident assistant, and then we became best friends. So I'm just kind of curious, your friendships, like people you met, you know, Evan and I, now we're in love, you know, maybe.
Sometimes.
But announcing it right now?
Yeah, I'm actually going to propose.
To everyone?
But I'm just kind of curious. Can you tell me about some of those connections you made with like friends, new people you met that was outside of, like your professors?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I was fortunate enough to be able to live on campus, like starting at Brockport, which at least for me was big and like meeting people right away. It's kind of funny. One of my best friends who I've lived with for 2 years now was in my orientation group when I came for the overnight orientation, but we didn't speak to each other at all then. But then regardless, we moved into campus and he lived down the hall from me. And basically all the people that I'm still really close friends with now, I met in like, we were in the same hallway my freshman year. And that just came from like going in the common room when people are in there and like having conversations. I think, like I said, I wanted when I came to school to make the most of everything. And part of that was like making new friends and like, cause I went to one school my whole life. And I was kind of friends with the same people for a long time, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I definitely wanted to meet new people and like people from different places and stuff in school. And so that's what I was able to do. Living on campus. And I just remember like spending all night in like the common room watching movies or like trying to study in the study room or like fighting over the washing machines. Everyone that I live with now, I live off campus now, but everyone I live with now, we were in the same hallway freshman year and only like 2 of the 6 of us like knew each other coming into college. We all just kind of met randomly and then became really close friends and still are really close friends now. I met my girlfriend here at Brockport and that was like almost 2 years ago now.
OMG, me too.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, and not that Brockport's like a huge school, but we're not a small school either. Like I don't see the same people every single day. You have new people in your classes all the time. And like, there's so much value in that, in my opinion.
So now that we've talked about Brockport quite a bit, I know Tristan has a little treat that he wants you and I to try.
Yeah. So I am sometimes sent little goodies from different companies. So this is not sponsored, but I do have a couple of little iced teas. So are you okay with caffeine? You drink caffeine?
For sure. Okay. The more the better.
So I got a couple of iced teas for you guys to try, and I want your little bit of a journalistic review on it, if you don't mind.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
And now you're doing your thing with marketing for Wegmans, so this is perfect. Maybe you can bring this back.
Maybe I can get one of our merchants in contact or something.
So I apologize. They are a little bit warm, but we got some. I didn't have a fridge over here, but I do have these Liquid Death Pop-Tarts Carnage.
Okay.
So they're flavored like Pop-Tarts, strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Liquid Death, not a sponsor.
That's if I was gonna eat a Pop-Tart, I would eat.
You want to drink
strawberry one?
Yeah, exactly. You want to drink?
I would want to drink. If I was
Pop-Tart.
going to eat a Pop-Tart, I would want to drink it.
Okay.
So it is an iced tea and it has a little bit of a,
Thank you. I think I've only had Liquid Death water before. So
yeah, I guess they do like juices and teas
Carnage.
and stuff. So I do want you guys to.
I'll let you
try
go.
them.
You go first. You give your.
Oh, okay.
And then I want the journalistic take.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
You can sip off mine.
Oh my God.
That sounds delicious.
I don't know. That didn't sound good. Oh my God, this is disgusting.
All right, let me try one more.
This is journalism, folks.
So the oh my God was because it tastes like a Pop-Tart. Like way too much like a Pop-Tart, I would say.
There's chunks in it?
It's just blended Pop-Tart. Actually, I made these and it's just blended Pop-Tart.
So journalistic review. Okay. So the Liquid Death Pop-Tarts Carnage is there's a skull on it. There's a melting skull on the can.
It's not.
Is this part of the review or no?
Okay. All right. Liquid Death Pop-Tarts Carnage is a unique blend of normal iced tea and a strawberry Pop-Tart in a way that our ancestors from 2,000 years ago never could have imagined.
Are you reading this off the can?
In this little can, you get 43 milligrams of caffeine down to a T. Only 4 grams of sugar. And it just kind of tastes like Bad. It tastes pretty bad, to be honest.
So if we were going to get a sponsorship from Liquid Death, we are no longer getting.
I would say
Whoa, it does smell just like
a
it does.
Pop-Tart.
Give me a smell.
Get a whiff. Give it a whiff of that.
Wow, that is
That's what I'm
unreal.
saying. So that's why I said, "Oh my god," because I was like kind of shocked. If I'd say it's worth a try, so you could have the reaction that all three of us just had. But I'm not gonna finish.
I
this.
don't like tea.
That's not why you don't like it. You can't say that's why. The only reason you don't like it.
I'm not trying it.
No, you are. You have to try it. I
No.
won't answer any more questions if you don't.
Well, he just got you. He just got you. So.
You gotta try it.
Okay, fine.
It's
Don't spill it. You're going to spill it.
It's manufactured by Liquid Death.
All right, ready?
3, 2, 1, down the hatch.
How do you do this? 3, 2, 1, done.
I would go the other way.
Yeah, it tastes like watery Pop-Tart.
Yeah, it does taste like if you put a Pop-Tart in water and drank it.
It tastes a lot. It tastes like the sprinkles or like the frosting
Yeah,
on
that's
top.
what I keep thinking too, but I feel like
Because it's like a little chemically.
I also
it
got.
smells pretty good.
I also got these two for you if you want.
Oh, what?
I got some frogs here.
You got to rate it out of frogs.
How many frogs would you get?
How'd you even
Liquid
get
Death?
those in here?
I got a bunch of.
You
like,
snuck them past security?
I got more in my pocket.
Aren't those endangered? Aren't those endangered
I got a bunch of frogs.
All right, now we need a journalistic review of the
You
frogs.
could take one of those home with you if you want to.
Just one? You have a lot.
Yeah, you can only have one though.
Okay. I'm gonna put one in the plant for next time so that they're never forgotten.
I need a palate cleanser. That is disgusting.
Evan loves frogs.
Yeah, I love frogs.
So why don't you tell us what's your favorite animal?
Ooh, my favorite animal?
Yeah.
What can I do something with this? I don't want this anymore.
Just-
Yeah, throw it away.
What's your favorite frog?
My favorite frog? I feel like a bullfrog. Bullfrogs are pretty big, right?
I have an African bullfrog.
Okay, then your frog is
Think
my
about-
favorite
the
frog.
thing about
now.
that. Yeah, it's like this big.
Okay, yeah, I'll take. I
For
will
the-
say
for the
a
camera, it's
bullfrog
like
is
this
my
big.
favorite frog.
Yeah, he's a
African
decent size.
bullfrogs have teeth.
Really?
Yeah, they're like one of the only frogs that have them. They have 2 bone teeth in the front.
That's pretty awesome. So I'll go with that.
Okay. But favorite animal? What's your favorite animal?
I don't know.
Who doesn't have a favorite animal?
I guess me. Let me think. I probably do.
I guess I'm the first. I don't know.
Come on,
guess
you
I'm
gotta have
making-
that off the.
I guess I'm making history here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that one. I guess like a dog, to be honest. If I had to choose an animal to be in a room with, I'd say like a dog.
This guy.
Boring.
I feel like I'm just blanking.
Chat, comment down below your favorite animal.
I like monkeys, like all monkeys and apes.
Here we go. Now we're
All
talking.
kinds of
I love
monkeys and
monkeys.
apes. I guess I'd say like an orangutan. I've said this before. Like I'd be down to like live with an orangutan. I feel like that'd be a better roommate than some of my roommates in terms of like cleaning up after himself and stuff. What'd you say?
So it peels your face off.
Okay, I wouldn't have an angry one or an aggressive one. Your frog would probably bite off your hand if he had the chance.
My bearded dragon has.
Oh my God, you have a frog tattoo
Yeah,
right
I do have
there.
a frog. Yeah, I love frogs.
Okay, that's
I just love
awesome.
little critters, I guess. I don't know.
That's sweet. No, yeah, I would go with a monkey. Of any.
I like the monkeys. I like the one.
Genus.
I like the one that goes like this.
I like those
You
too.
see the one that walks around like this,
Yeah, I do like those.
Sure.
and he's got his mouth wide open.
I would like there's flying monkeys, right? Flying monkeys are pretty cool.
I don't know if those
Or
are
am I
real.
making that up?
I don't think
make
those
that
are
up?
real.
Yeah,
I think those
I
are
love the ones that
spider
have like
monkeys or
wings.
something.
The ones that from
Those are from Wicked,
Wizard
maybe?
of Oz. Yeah, I love those
Oh,
ones.
that's probably what I'm
You're
thinking.
thinking Wicked, maybe, I think.
You want to hear a funny story, actually?
Yeah.
So, do you guys know what Tom Brady's wife's name is?
Giselle, right?
Yeah, Giselle.
Yeah. So, that's right. So,
Say it like.
one time when I was younger, I don't know how much younger, but I was like a kid where I don't know why. I don't know if my mom had like Nat Geo Wild on or something, or I was just looking on my phone, but like a gazelle came up is the context. And my family used to make a lot of fun of me because I'm not good with animals.
Make a lot of gazelles.
You don't even have a favorite animal. Maybe that's why.
No, I'm not. I'm not good. And so she was like, or my brother was like, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's a Giselle."
Like Tom Brady's wife.
Like Tom Brady's wife. So I have good
Yes,
ball
of course.
knowledge and bad animal knowledge.
Yeah, that is
basically.
actually good ball knowledge.
Yeah, pretty good ball knowledge.
Oh man, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Stop drinking
The
it.
drink, not the animal thing.
So
But
they sent you that?
Yeah.
yeah, he does a little content creation.
Send
on
it
the
back.
side.
It did come all busted, so maybe it wasn't what they sent. Maybe
Yeah, I had
it was-
to put the liquid back in the can.
Yeah, it was all over the floor.
Yeah,
in the box.
ChatGPT generated this stupid label and they just actually blended up a Pop-Tart and put it in a can.
Liquid death is coming nowhere.
And
near
that's
it.
your journalistic review.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's most of our time. Is there any?
Most of our time. We got a little bit more though.
We have a little bit, but we're trying to get out of here. I want to tell everybody of how we first met. So I was Evan's resident assistant. I was a sophomore in McVicker, and he was a freshman. And so he wasn't my direct resident, but he was in the building. And
Kukan was my direct resident. Shout out Kukan.
but Evan was going through a little something. So
I was standing at the top of the stairway crying because my girlfriend had just broke up with me.
That's true. So in a time of need, I told Evan he should go and get therapy and counseling.
He told me that I should go to therapy and that he would sign up with me. He didn't sign up with me.
I didn't get you baited. You're welcome. But I did help though.
I went. Yeah, I went.
But yeah, and then the next year he applied to be an RA, and that was COVID year. So we weren't really allowed to go into other buildings. So it was just him and I. Well, we were on our team, but it was just, him and I in the building. We were like the only non-first year students in the building, and we were just hanging out all the time. I brought my entire PlayStation setup down to his room because he had a double room and I had a single. So I put my stuff down there, and I pretty much just lived in his room for that entire
Yeah, we had separate rooms, but we lived together.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's smart. Make the most of the space.
Yeah, so I was really forced to be his friend, but
Yeah, wait. So let me break this down really fast.
do it.
So
Journalist.
you met him, lied to him, didn't talk to him for a year, and had no one else to be friends with.
No,
so
no,
you be
no.
able to
We
be
did
friends.
talk for that whole year. We did talk for that whole year. We talked
Yeah,
for
I was still his resident assistant though, and you got to keep boundaries. So you gotta hold your boundaries. But we were still friends. We were like friends.
He was like, "Please come to therapy with me," and you were like, "No, I'm not going."
No, I said I was gonna go.
Yeah, he said he was going to go separately.
Something came up. I was busy. I had a bunch of jobs on campus.
You were so busy that you never signed up for an appointment.
class.
Yeah. Oh man. And then we ended up after our RA year. COVID was still kind of a thing. We ended up moving into an apartment in Brockport together, and we lived together.
2-bedroom apartment, and you shared one of the bedrooms.
We used one bedroom. Yeah, we only used
the
one
other
bedroom.
one was for video games.
Yeah. So then we lived together for
that
2
was
years.
the dungeon. That was the gaming dungeon.
That was the gaming. Yeah.
It smelled like Doritos and Mountain Dew in there, and liquid death Pop-Tart.
One time I did.
That's where you came up with the recipe for the
Yeah,
Pop-Tart
that's where I made
water.
this.
Well, one time I had a glass and I brought an entire thing of Hawaiian punch into my room. We had white carpets and I went to go pour it. I dumped the entire thing all over the white carpets. So.
Right before that, I told him maybe you shouldn't bring that whole jug into your room. I did tell him that, but
Our room.
yeah,
Into our room. Yeah, don't
Sorry.
bring that giant jug into our room.
But now we actually work together. We
Yeah.
work in admissions together, and so yeah, it's kind of cool. We're on a team, besties for life.
Yeah, so what do? You didn't tell us what you do. What do you guys do?
I don't know.
This and other stuff.
I actually don't even work. Yeah, I just kind of walk around.
Yeah, he just hangs out.
We found you outside looking for frogs.
Yeah, folks. That's where we found all those.
Yeah. Didn't work.
It's true. You
So-
just dumped them out.
Yeah. We both work in admissions, and I'm an admissions advisor. So I do recruiting. I go around to different schools, work with transfers, first-year students to chat about Brockport, give them some info. And then I review applications and, amongst other stuff. So I plan some of our events and stuff like that. But yeah, we both graduated from Brockport, and now we're both working at admissions.
Yeah. I got my master's from Brockport too.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. So why'd you guys stay at Brockport after you finished your undergrad? Each other.
Yeah.
You were still working to make up for all the money they had to buy a new carpet after you spilled it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Actually, originally I was supposed to leave Brockport afterwards and go to UB. I had like an internship that I was going to do there. I was in their master's program, and then a job opened up in admissions, and I decided that I don't know. I always like had like a weird imposter syndrome for like 3 months after I graduated, where it was like Brockport's the only reason like I'm being successful. Like I need to go somewhere else and find myself. But then I was like, wait a minute.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it here, and like I don't really have a reason to leave. And I work with Tristan still, and I've moved to Rochester since then. So like yeah, I don't know. I just loved what Brockport gave me, and I kind of wanted to put my all back into Brockport kind of deal because I just love it here.
Yeah, same. I just fell in love with Brockport as a student, and like I don't know, it like I never had the urge to really get away or, leave Brockport. Obviously I'm an advisor. I recruit for Brockport. And my main thing is, just like I want to share my story and I want to encourage other students to come to Brockport because I love it so much. It's not a hard sell. It really sells itself, And so I think just getting students to come to Brockport, chatting with them, and they can see campus for themselves. And if they love it like I did, that's awesome. Maybe some of them won't, and that's okay. But yeah, I really just kind of fell in love.
Sweet. And how long ago did you both finish your undergrad?
I graduated in 2023.
2022. Wow.
So you've been here a while.
Long time.
Unk status.
Yeah, we're old heads now.
You both graduated here before I started school here.
Okay, well, then now we're getting crazy. We're not old. We're not even old.
I didn't say
we're still.
Why is he calling us old?
Yeah,
Chat?
that's crazy.
You said you're old.
I don't remember saying that. I remember it coming out of your mouth.
The Reddit will be hearing about this for sure.
Yeah, we do have a Reddit now.
You have a Reddit?
Well, no, for Tour the Nest.
Yeah, for Tour the Nest. Yeah, r/tour the Nest.
How many people are on there?
2.
We got a couple. People. 2 really passionate people.
Yeah, really passionate.
That delivery was flawless.
Any final recommendations? Any big hitters for current incoming students or students who are in the middle of their college career?
Like advice?
Yeah.
I'd say, okay, I'll give like 3.
Okay.
3 pieces of advice.
Not as many as I asked for, but it's fine.
Well, how many did you ask for?
I wanted 5, but it's fine.
All right, 5. Sorry. Because I'm a bad listener. So I'll go 5 pieces of advice. 1, I don't want to say take advantage of. 1, make the most of your relationships, whether it's with like your peers, your friends, your faculty, really anyone. Get their help, ask them for advice, use the connections that you've made to like open doors for yourself. There's a lot of doors to be opened that especially like faculty on the campus have that they're just waiting for somebody to come open it. So ask. That's how I got seating. Oh my gosh. That's how I started sitting in this chair or that chair over there before was I just asked. And here I am. Second piece of advice.
You only have to do 3. I was just joking about 5.
Okay. Well, for that, I'm going to do 10. Second piece of advice. Don't strive for perfection. You're going to like paralyze yourself if like, unless you like need to get into nursing school or something or like, but
this is like a job that you like need to be perfect for.
Yeah. But, you're probably not going to get 100 on every assignment. Let yourself live a little. Don't burn yourself out trying to study for 12 hours a day. Cause I know I have friends who do that and it doesn't end well at all. 3, make time for yourself, which like goes in line with the last one. Like, take time to just relax. One of my biggest problems that I think I've had in college is like feeling like I always have to be doing something. Feeling like if I relax, I'm like wasting time, which is it's insanity. You cannot live like that for your whole life or now. So take time for yourself to just chill. 4th piece of advice, have fun. Like there's lots of things to do around here, by yourself or with friends, on campus or off campus. Have fun, make the most of your experience because college is pretty silly if you think about it. We're running around going to learn stuff from people, and you know, moving somewhere just to learn things. It's all very silly if you think about it. So don't take it too serious.
5, start looks maxing.
5th piece of advice: don't ever drink this Pop-Tarts stuff,
and
keep more frogs in your life.
And on that,
True.
thank you for watching. Thank you for touring the nest. We love you. Smooches.